I have it right next to me if you want to see quickly.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Get Your Deck Out podcast. It's me, Old Emo Dave. You're hearing my usual Scott, but we have a very special guest today. Alex, hello. Welcome to the pod. For those who have not looked even at their phones for the last 2.5 weeks, give us an introduction to who you are and why you're here.
Hey, I'm Alex McIsaac. I had the pleasure of participating in the Spotlight Series Spider-Man in Baltimore, and I ended up running a aggressive Leyline deck, and I ended up winning that Spotlight Series. So I'm really happy to be here. It's my first, of course, Grand Prix or Spotlight Series win. Outside of that, I've only really had, RCQ wins and store championship wins, or online challenges maybe. But outside of that, this is it. And some people know me as the guy who brought Poison Dart Frog to a big tournament, a basically unplayable card in the sideboard. That's
absolutely that. I could testament for usual viewers. I'm not in my usual spot. I am currently in an Airbnb in sunny Liverpool, about 30 minutes back from the main event. The talk of the weekend has been, where's the Poison Dart Frogs? That's been one of the people have acknowledging that. I know Simon Nielsen on the deck rundown on the Twitch stream said, but I'm sad to say no Poison Dart Frogs made the meta. So you've definitely had an impact on the Magic sphere. But as we talk about, there's a lot of depth there to how long you've been playing this deck and like why you made the choices to take it, and the results you've had online in the past. So it's not just not just a run good moment of the memories. You've been putting a lot of work into this Leyline list and the archetype itself, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. I actually played Leyline starting in Pioneer and brought it into Standard. In the months that followed after Pioneer kind of died off. And I was, kind of stuck where I thought it was a bad moment in the meta for Standard and decided I've gotten used to this Leyline deck through Pioneer and might as well just bring it in. So back then, I think it was, I forget the exact year for the Calgary RC. That was Pioneer. It might have been 2013 or 2023, 2024.
I've got
2024. That's right. And I brought Rakdos Prowess back then, and didn't have that much success with Rakdos Prowess, which had that typical mice package, very similar to what you see with the Leyline decks before rotation. I didn't get that much success, so I decided to throw Giganta out of that sideboard and bring in 4 copies of Leyline of Resonance in the 5K Open that happens for players that don't make day 2, and I had a lot of success with it. And from then on, I decided, this is going to be my deck for Standard as well, and brought it to the Montreal RC after that, and I was one of the few people actually playing Leyline even then, and got a really good record. Went 10-1, then lost 3 in a row, and then ended up finishing 16th place. So top 16 was a really good result for me back then. And I've been playing it since, trying to modify the list even after rotation. Through a few standard challenges. I think it appeared on a few standard challenges, and there are a few posts on X or Twitter that were asking, what is this Poison Dart Frog doing in this winning challenge list? And, it just became sort of a meme because... and the reason behind all this Poison Dart Frog business is actually I went to Spotlight Series Planetary Rotation. And when I got there, or before leaving, I couldn't find all my Razorkin Needleheads. I had ordered some, and they didn't arrive in time. So getting to the actual venue over there in Spotlight Series Planetary Rotation, I decided to arrive, about an hour early. I told myself, I'll be able to find those Razorkin Needleheads in time. Went to every single vendor. Every single one of those vendors was running out of those copies. Whenever I got to one, they would always say, "Oh, I just sold my last copy to this other person." So I wasn't the only one, like really scrambling to get those Razorkin Needleheads to deal with the Vivi problem.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't find all of them, and I had brought some cards, that I already had on me. One of them was Poison Dart Frog, and others were, just cards that I had drafted, like Haste Magic, stuff like that, that I thought, maybe this will come in use, but I didn't have any idea of how I would use it in any of the matchups. And luckily for me, you don't sideboard that much with Leyline, so I didn't need those extra sideboard cards. And after that, it just stuck.
So, look, it's not just the one time you brought Poison Dart Frog as well. I can see from all your challenge lists from Magic Online, assuming you are MacIsaac on Magic Online, there's a Poison Dart Frog in every single one of these. And that's from the middle of September, which is, I assume, your testing of just jamming challenges and really getting to know the deck.
Yeah, you'll see that it's pretty much the same list every time, except sometimes I switch out a few cards, try it out, Burnout Bastronaut, stuff like that. And just landed on this list.
The other thing I can see on there as well, I know this probably lines up with RC Ottawa, which was Modern. You do seem to play a bit of Yawgmoth here and there in Modern as well.
Yeah, in Modern as well. That's something that, I don't know, it's really part of my Magic journey where I don't like to play the top decks in the meta to copy those lists. I like to make my own, and I am very stubborn when it comes to a deck that, when I find a deck that I like, I can become very stubborn and I stick with it. And Yawgmoth has kind of fallen out of the meta, but I still play it. And I think that's a testament actually to the current state of the meta for Standard, where it's pretty much dominated by Vivi, and you don't need that many sideboard cards because not facing that many different types of decks. So most of my sideboard is actually committed to Vivi, and I don't really need to worry about that many variant decks. Whereas for Modern, that Spore Frog is necessary against this prowess, and the others are just, every single card targets a certain deck.
I think there was a... God, sorry, no.
I was going to say, aside from... I'll ignore the Poison Dart Frog, as much as I love him. The sideboard for your winning deck, Fanatical Firebrand, what's that there for?
Fanatical Firebrand has a lot of purposes. Some of them can be attached to, of course, just pinging your own Screaming Nemesis to deal damage to prevent your opponent from getting that life gain. But mainly, Fanatical Firebrand, I see it as a must include against Dimir midrange, especially when you see those Deep Cavern Bats come out. I think my Leyline version is very well positioned in the meta right now just because we don't have a lot of discard, like Intimidation Tactics or, Duress, stuff like that. They're not really played or in there. And Deep Cavern Bat is one of them that just gets a card out of your hand because you're looking for that perfect composition of lands, creatures, and pump spells. If you have one creature, or if you just have one pump spell and they take that one, you're stuck on... It messes up your balance. So,
yeah,
Fanatical Firebrand.
They unable to scream your creature instead of removing it, and you just kill them outright anyway, right?
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so in terms of combating this, say November comes and goes, they've banned Vivi out the meta, and we're just left in a sea of mono red. Would you sleeve this up to beat mono red, or would you end up going a different direction with it?
There would definitely need to be a few modifications to it, but I do think that in a lot of circumstances, this deck does outpace mono red aggro, just because it gets the kill out there first. The current mono red does seem more like a control type of deck, which is problematic. So I probably bring in more creatures, probably mainboard Screaming Nemesis too, at that point.
Yeah, I mean, people call it mono red aggro, and they see it like a sort of sly deck, the good old fashioned just mono red aggro, all the bolts, all the burn spells. But they were talking about it on coverage today, where it's way more like a big red deck. In mono red aggro or mono red burn, you're not playing Nova Hellcat, you're not playing even really Screaming Nemesis. So it is way more of a big red deck, whereas this is just pure balls to the wall, slick shot show off, Ember Heart Challenger. That's where my curve goes. And from there, it's just pump, 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 kill.
All the mana composition is like 1 drops, 2 drops. So
yeah. And just one Blaze My Verge, just the misers, because sometimes you cast the Catalyst Sellsword and it's enough to kill them.
That's right.
Did you kill anyone with a Catalyst Sellsword on the weekend?
I think I hardcast 2 of them. You do get to play quite a lot of games, but 2 is pretty negligible at that point. It's also good that usually you cast a Catalyst Sellsword after the burn together part of it. So you use that card twice, you get another creature out there, and when it comes in after a burn together, you've sacked a creature or you've lost some creatures, so you get those +1s on it.
Yeah, I assume it's normally a case of you get them down to 3, 4, and it's just you need some random doofus to just push through for the last little bit.
So it's almost like that. It's either the desperation or the final kill next turn. That's when it comes out.
Desperation is normally how I play these types of decks. So.
I love that you added the desperation there. It's like, maybe I'll stay alive if this deck actually sticks there. Scott mentioned obviously bans coming up, and yes, there's going to be definite changes, and being in a room full of Magic players today, different content people, and everyone's talked about all the different potential combinations of things that they're going to do. There's the room's consensus was, in theory, if we're going to stabilize things, that 3 things should go from the Izzet deck, that being Profts, Cauldron, and Vivi. Do you feel the same? Do you think the same? And have you got any other potential thoughts on it? Because I guess as well, if that happens, unfortunately, us red players probably won't be allowed to have Screaming Nemesis as a toy anymore.
Yeah, I do think there is a Vivi problem. I do think it thwarts the entire meta. I think that, decks like Leyline Aggro can actually deal really well with those decks, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't thwart the rest of the meta and makes it, less fun to play, doesn't really give room to those really cool decks that can come out. And that's why I think, Vivi's a good ban, in my opinion. Proft is also something that, they should really consider taking away. Because of, the amount of Riddlers. We saw those card draws in a lot of my games as well, where they didn't even need that Vivi to make, some monsters on the board. The banning of Cauldron, I would be kind of upset with that, just because even though, people on the podcast have probably only seen me, play Leyline Red, I'm a big Golgari player. So just like with the Yawgmoth, I love Soul Cauldron. I love the possibilities of it, and I'd really like to see Golgari Roots come back up in Standard. That's such a fun deck where, you make those plants and you go. Even without Tyvar, I think it's still playable.
So I was going to say, do you not think losing Tyvar was too much for that deck?
It's a big blow to it, but I think there's, they could print some new cards too that can kind of replace it, and you got Dredger's Insight now, stuff like that.
I already love the fact that you were killing people on turn 2, but the thought that your comeback would be like rooting people out of the graveyard, it's sort of like the hero we want, hero we deserve kind of like comeback. I love that. And any hot takes on what you think should also go as well? Obviously, Kaito. Do you think if they make a readjustment, Kaito would be too much, or would you just be happy to say let's take the Cauldron deck, let's take the Izzet deck out of the meta and see where everything lands?
Yeah, it's hard to predict, where all the pieces land. One deck changes the meta entirely, and then new decks pop up, and they affect each other that way. It's a big domino effect. I think it would be more of like tackling Vivi itself, and maybe Proft itself. If they do tackle Proft, I think they would need to take something out of the mono red match. Maybe Screaming Nemesis. I have seen some people saying that that would be a target. Yeah, outside of that,
like something I said a couple of weeks ago, if you're hitting Vivi and Profs, then you need to hit Monorad as well.
yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. I don't really know what else, and I don't think they want to shake it up too much. I think they just want to, remove some big problematic elements and then see where it all falls, and go from there.
That's one of the issues we've got with the no established like precedent for these ban windows that they've been making, where it feels like we don't really have enough of them for how many sets they're putting out into standard. But obviously Vivi is a problem and Vivi needs to go, but can we take the risk of we ban Vivi and then it's just nothing but mono red for the next 2 months, and then standards even further into the doldrums than it already is, where we've got 300-400 people for Spotlight Series when really we should be having over 1,000.
Yeah, the participation rate has definitely dropped.
Yeah, and I heard the interesting stories today from some people who were in Baltimore, like some of the Germans who flew over and have now flown here, about the day 2 shenanigans, the fact that only 3 of you were going to miss a promo, and the competitor. There was so many like weird things going on in matchups down the line, because that promo was, well, I don't know about in America, but it was going for 300 UK pounds today, just about $400 to vendors. And same here, like only 13 people missed out, but at the same time, it's like that the 128 promo in modern events, you've got 1,500 people, right? So like, the law shouldn't be day 2 get a big cash. It should be day 2 to fight for a big cash, not to maybe like squeak a win and take a draw left, right, and center. But yeah, I'm sure they'll at least reflected on everything to do with Spider-Man and how it's affected things, and how not addressing standards affected things, and hopefully apply a more regular ban window to the cadence of the Spotlight Series is coming up in 2026. I've had a fun weekend here in Liverpool, and there's been lots to do, and lots of stories to tell. Have you got any nuggets of your any top memories from Baltimore that sort of like kind of like brings together like the Magic community of things, like the mates you were traveling with, or people you met along the way and would love to sort of like and can tell the tale about?
Yeah, I met some really cool people there. Almost every single one of my opponents were just absolutely fantastic and like delightful to talk to. It's we kind of created this rapport going through it, and some of us actually made it to the top 8, and I had known or encountered some of the people as well before, and had kind of like this rivalry, especially with Namdang, who had. I
was wondering who you were gonna say, and I saw that you lost to Nam in Orlando in your last round.
That's right, exactly. So I saw him as like my tournament ender there, and going into the winning in, him beating me again after I had killed him. Looking at the clock, I had beaten him within like 2 minutes. I turned 3, killed him without the ley line because of this plotted slick shot, and burned together. And I was like, okay, this is it. The second game is going my way. He's down to, I think it was, I don't remember exactly how much life, so I'm not going to put anything there, but he was very close to death, and I needed, to draw 1 pump spell or 1 creature off of double Might of the Meek, and nothing, and then went to lose, and then I was like, okay, maybe it's just not meant for me to make top 8. But yeah,
I could
in the end though.
I could see the sort of like headlines. Namdang, the end boss. It's like sort of can imagine like that was playing out for you in real time.
Yeah, it's also great respect to Namdang. He faced my Leyline deck as well before, so he knew what he was going up against. And he still tapped out the first game, realized that mistake, and then kind of remembered what the plan is against this deck. And he played fantastically. Even like in the top 8 as well. I just got really lucky against him with the double Leyline and Leyline. the double Leyline game, his bouncing of my hard claw, and then kind of using his scorching shot, burnt, and destroying, torching my creatures down. So he just destroyed my entire board by gaining more information playing these pump spells one at a time. He's just a fantastic player, and you see like his calculated way of thinking about how my deck operates without even fully, knowing it or having encountered it that much. That's, a sign of a really good player. So
yeah,
big respect.
Nam is a Pro Tour player. He's been around the game for a long, long time. It's a name that I definitely knew, but looking at your ELO project page, you've only really been playing Premier events for the last year and a half, 2 years, that sort of thing. And now you're going to a Pro Tour yourself. So are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been wanting to go to the Pro Tour for maybe not as long as a lot of players, based on what you just said. But I've always been a big chess player. I've been playing chess since I was 3 competitively, and I've always been, a very one-track mind kind of person. So if I get into a game, I really, devote everything to it. So I've been playing Magic obsessively since then, since I got into it, and try to develop my own strategies, and test new lists constantly. And I think it's kind of like paying off. I'm super excited about the Pro Tour, especially the draft component. I love drafting. So
it's good to hear from a, shall we say, a new school player, not someone as old as me or who's been playing the game as long as me. But it's really nice to hear that players coming into the game in the last year or two find draft and really enjoy draft. But it's obviously you've already won. Was it $10,000? I want to say.
Yeah, 10,000 US, which is more for us Canadians.
I love that.
An extremely unique trophy. Whether you love it or hate it, it's definitely unique, and it's definitely a really cool thing to have. I know Dave was trying to walk away with the other one from Liverpool. Didn't quite get there in the main, but that might be because he didn't play Leyline of Resonance.
Yes, I didn't really. I guess it was going to be a way too late pivot for me to have. Alex has had a year of mastering this deck, so me kind of picking it up and trying to get my one time. You have to be so artful, skillful, and I think in a way, I tried a lot of the side events on the Friday with it. People were so respectful of it because of what you had done the week before that actually, ironically, I felt that if I'd have just played one Leyline of Resonance and flipped it out of my sideboard and went, oops, nope, zero, but actually just played mono red stock, I would have had a much bigger edge, because as soon as they kind of sensed that's what I was doing, I just there's a massive uptick at that level of Torch the Tower into the Floodmore, and I just had very little chance of going in. And I kind of walked into a couple of like, oh, if you just played green for Snakeskin Veil, you might have got there, but I guess that's for another.
Whoa. Play green for Poison Dart Frog, thank you.
That's right.
That's very true. And I guess your thoughts about its potential. There is potential pivot, but we've got to see how it shakes up, haven't we? And we've got to see what the threats are, because there's been decks like that around for a while in the past, and with sort of like the pump protect kind of thing going on as well.
Yeah, Gruul Leyline especially was something that really interested me too. When Hemosymbic Might came out, I just looked at that and I was like, okay, that's another turn 2 kill that you can get with 2 Hemosymbic Mites and a Wild Ride, pumped up by Leyline. That's an immediate kill, and that's such a cool kill with the synergy between just 2 of the same creatures. I kind of gave up on my attempt at a Gruul Leyline, testing a few different things. Just because I found it difficult with the mana composition. You have such a tight focus, really, when you're playing these Leyline decks, that You want to get that perfect balance of creatures and pump spells. And if that doesn't match your land composition, your mana composition, it just ruins the entire deck. It's just one more thing to look out for and one more reason why you might not be in the game. But now we have... Oh, sorry, go on.
I was going to say that's obviously part of the composition of the deck you ended up playing, where you only have one Blazemire Verge. Is you could play 4 Blazemire Verge, but you can't afford the black untapped land on turn 1. Sometimes you draw 2 of them. It's not even starting town, none of that. Just mountains and 1 Blazemire Verge. We know what we're here for. No Soulstone Sanctuary. We're not getting to 4 mana. It's that tight on the mana, and I can tell, as you've said, like you change some of the cards around between these lists, but that's something that doesn't change.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying or thinking that maybe I could get back into trying out Gruul now that we have Multiversal Passage. I didn't have enough time to actually test it. So that's like a third option, because we have the Verge, then we have Multiversal Passage, then we have Starting Town, and then we can get our basic red lands. I think that might be enough to make it work.
Stomping Ground as well, right? In Edge of Eternities? Is that one of the ones that was in there?
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, Stomping Ground is now in. Yeah.
When they're off-centered like this and it's not ally enemy, I can never keep track of what's actually in the format when... Well, especially now we've got Lorwyn next year, so it's going to be on a different rotation cycle as well. So I'm fairly certain someone could just play like a Scalding Tarn against me in Standard, and I just go, yeah, I'm sure that was printed at some point.
We did a...
I made that mistake one.
Yeah, well, we did a flashback draft here in the house on Valley, and there's so many cards which were like originally printed back in 2015, and we still were doing the that's probably in Foundations meme with sort of everything to go with that. Obviously, we know if you listen, I won't call you out by name, but I've seen you today, and you've said I enjoy the pod. Alex is, I'm sure, and all the details are going to be in the description. Everything where you can find Alex and all about. Definitely sounds to me like a really smart head who can be part of your testing teams, get involved, and start building for like some of these next Pro Tours coming up. Just outside of the Pro Tour element, like we were obviously all based around like that you go into your local game store and getting your deck out. It is how have they taken your success? Have you taken a load of ribbon from the boys back home, or are they sort of like they thrown you a celebration party?
Actually, just last night, we did go... well, we have the Blue Jays game as well, because the Blue Jays are in the World Series for Major League Baseball.
Yes.
I don't think any one of us in our playtest group is that much into baseball, but, we just decided to get there. We're playtesting also for the Calgary RC that's coming up for Modern. And, we just had a, party, kind of like I brought the trophy with me so that they could see and we could take some pictures together and had a few drinks and then just watch the Blue Jays game.
And where's
the glove yet?
No. Honestly, even just touching the glove, it's mostly made of bronze. There's some gold in there. There's the Madeira citrine, but I don't know, you kind of get like this metallic kind of smell on your hands after. I would not want to risk some sort of lead poisoning off of that.
So is it going to be a special case? Are you going to like build your own? Is there going to be now a cabinet? Is it going to take pride of place?
That's actually a good point. Maybe it'll get dusty if I just keep it here, but I have it right next to me if you want to see quickly.
Yeah, there we go. Let's pull it up. Just so people don't claim that we've got an AI on the pod. There it is.
That's right.
Wonderful thing.
The base is pretty heavy as well, so it just goes on there. And,
that's incredible.
Rotate it.
A lot of the times we talk about things Wizards do and don't, but and also with Universes Beyond, but I think it's a really special sort of tie-in that's been made. There's a wonderful like welcome to London spotlight thing, and everyone will see this in the upcoming vlogs. I saw today's trophy. I think, am I right in saying like the stones are going to all be slightly different in all of the trophies as the sort of plan? I know there's a little bit of uniqueness to each one at the different stops.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how they're gonna go about it. Maybe with the next Marvel set, I think they might have a new stone.
I'd assume there's going to be one stone in every Marvel set that they do, which kind of lines us up for more than just next year, where I think it's Marvel Superheroes is the name of the set next year. So
Yeah.
in that one, we'll have a different stone, and then that'll be for the Spotlight series that will have that stone in it. So what I'm getting to from this, Alex, is you need to win all of them, crack the stones out of the other ones, assemble it all, and then we'll all be at your whim basically because you'll have the full inventory.
You just win the game. Like that's the you win life. You have all the stones.
I'd really like a Hobbit trophy, to be honest, but we'll see what that is.
Just a cloak and a staff, a big Hobbit staff. Yes, although that's great, and we'd love to see it, and we can't wait to keep following along. And the Run It Back story is just as great of the one time story as well. But you've been doing great things behind the scenes here for a while, and again, the sort of work you've been putting in is testament to what it takes to be successful at the top level. And people would love to hear more about it. So I believe in tribute to our little companion in the sideboard, people can now be able to find you on YouTube to catch up with some of your thoughts on new deck builds and things you might be doing in that space.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be trying to post a bit more on YouTube, especially ahead. Like, there's so many events lined up for me. There's 2 RCs, there's the Spotlight series that's happening in Toronto, and of course the Pro Tour. So I'm going to be trying to make some videos around my thought process behind my decks that I'm going to be bringing to those. And just, of course, I'm going to be jamming so much draft for Lorwyn Eclipse between January 16th and January 30th. I'm going to try to get to know every single card like the back of my hand and try to release my thoughts on how to draft those sets ahead of the Spotlight series in Toronto. Maybe keep some secrets for myself for the Pro Tour, though.
Of course.
With winning all these tournaments, right, is you then have more tournaments that you have to play. And generally, when you win a tournament, you then have to travel for the next stage.
Yeah. That's amazing. And down in the description, we'll have everywhere you can find Alex now on the socials, everywhere you can contact, and just go back and watch some of the highlights of the events. It was a pretty well told story and a just wonderful moment in time of hey, we're all complaining about X and Y, but along came Z and just took it home straight to the top. I would say we did say you're not going to be a baseball guy. I was going to say, would you trade this in for a Blue Jays World Series win? But I think I know that trophy is a little bit priceless, and that's where you'd stay.
Yeah, no, it's definitely priceless. I'm sorry to Blue Jays fans, but I would not trade this in.
Absolutely fair to say. And we'll leave you there. You've got some more partying to do, and definitely lots of preparation to do. Everybody at home, yes, go check out the Poison Dart Frog. And for the first, for anybody who follows that channel and says hello to Alex on his first post, we're going to randomly drop in some play point codes for you, partly from ourselves and Magic Online, to help also other people get started on their journey of getting their deck out and getting involved in competitive Magic. Alex,
so as well as this Leyline deck is very cheap on Magic Online. It's like 35 ticks, so it's a good starter deck.
Exactly. Alex, thank you very much for being here. Thank you everybody much for listening. There'll be more pods in the week. This is basically Spotlight Liverpool special week, and what a way to crack it off with the champion of the one previous joining us for this very special catch up. Thank you, Alex.
So much.
Waving the glove around. Just